Good morning, all. So, this video took a long time to prepare. My phone is literally taped to a box of handgun ammunition right now because I don't have a tripod. But it works. It works. So, this is my Benchmade Griptilian. Had this since October of 2017. And I've carried it basically every time I needed to go do a bunch of work, right? And I'll just say it right now. This knife, I don't think has ever failed me. It's not malfunctioned. It's not, dulled super quickly. I've sharpened it, of course, but probably my most used knife. And I don't have a coating on it, but you can see with the reflections. It's seen a lot. This knife has been through hell. This has fallen on concrete. The edge has hit metal bars. It's not had a fun life, but it's had a full one. So let me get this out of the way. My Benchmade, my Griptilian, is in 154 cm. As you can see, probably not see, but it's marked 154 cm. That's the steel these used to be made of. Now they're made of S30V, which is a comparable steel, but a little bit more expensive to manufacture, and also a little bit tighter grain structure, which means you'll get a finer edge, but it might dull a little bit faster if you try to do that. 154 cm doesn't hold as fine of an edge, but will hold a toothy edge for longer, if that makes sense. That being said, I haven't had too many problems with the 154 cm because I know how to sharpen, but that's not a luxury a lot of people have, and if you don't know how to sharpen, then it's not really going to be for you. I work in construction, so this gets used a lot. I open up big cardboard boxes and plastic, but I need to sharpen this about every week, every 2 weeks. Fortunately, it's easy to sharpen, and again, everything I say about 154 cm is pretty much applicable to S30V. They're very similar steels. That said, S30V is a little bit more expensive, so whereas I paid just over $100 for this, they're now going for about $110 or $120, if that's a concern for you. Let's get this out of the way. Size, blade length is 3.75 inches, weighs 3.8 ounces, and is 8 inches open, and I don't know, this long closed. So, with the dimensions, a lot of people complain that it has really fat scales. And you know what? I can agree. I heard somebody compare this to having a corn dog in your pocket because of this texturing and how fat it is. Personally, I think comfort in the hand is worth discomfort in the pocket. And if you're used to big knives, or if it doesn't bother you, or if you're throwing this in a backpack or in a truck, whatever, this isn't going to bother you. Because in the hand, the ergonomics on this knife are fantastic. I love it. The jimping up here for your index finger, also down here for your pinky. Or if in the reverse grip, it's got here for your thumb, index. I think in any position, even I use my knife a lot like this to open up plastic bags, like big thick ones. And I think this is still comfortable. Another problem people have with the scales is that they're made of plastic. Of course, they're made of FRN, fiberglass reinforced nylon. That's marketing. They're plastic. They're plastic. I can't really defend that. And that's a problem for some people. Some people think they're going to break. They're not. But if you're planning on running this over with a truck or tossing it in a fire or something, then yeah, maybe just skip this knife. But for us normal people who don't live in, battlefields, It's perfectly fine, the plastic handles. They do feel a little bit tacky, but I actually kind of like that, and I'll get to that. Benchmade, in general, as a company, is very good about taking care of you. And this isn't, an ad or a sponsor, I wish, but Benchmade, if this comes and the blade isn't centered, mine happens to be, blade isn't centered or grinds uneven or whatever is wrong with it, you can send it to them, they'll be like, oh, sorry, and fix it for free. If you need it sharpened, send it to them, they'll sharpen it for free, send it back to you for free. If you need new scales or a new blade, they'll charge you, I think it's $30 for a blade and $25 for the scales, might be wrong. Everything else they'll replace, thumb studs, internals, guts, whatever, pocket clip, they'll send you a deep carry pocket clip if you call them. The warranty on this will last you for your entire life. And to me, I think that's worth the price tag. Even if the knife itself is, it's good, it's worth the price tag, but what really sets it apart is that warranty. Again, a lot of people have problems with quality control with Benchmade. That more so was a problem a few years ago. They've gotten way better at that because obviously they've gotten some big trouble with that. This knife is completely ambidextrous, which means if you reverse the pocket clip over to the other side, you have the exact same experience whether you are right-handed or wrong-handed. And that's a large part due to the axis lock. Axis lock, if you don't know, pull that back, unlocks the blade. The knife is held shut by that axis lock. You have to pull it just a little bit, get that detent off, and it opens just fine. If you oil it, like mine, you can drop it shut, flick it open, no big deal. There are many, many different versions of this knife. I happen to choose the orange because it was Halloween and I liked the bright color. I think it's inoffensive or non-threatening to have an orange, like a bright orange knife with a bright satin blade. But if you want, you could have black handles with a black blade or G10 handles, which cost considerably more. I think $50 to $80 more for the G10 handles. But if that's a problem for you, then there you go. Also comes in a bunch of different steels. Your stock Benchmades will come in S30V, but you can also get, say, M390. Of course, that's all going to cost you more. You can get serrated blades. You can get coated blades. Different blade shapes as well, different handle colors. Customization is something Benchmade gets very right with this. That said, the reason I like this knife, the reason I personally like this knife as a work knife specifically, is because it's not threatening. Like, you can make it threatening by flicking it out, but it's a manual knife, and you can close it with two hands if you're around some jumpy people. And it doesn't look expensive. And that's, to some people don't like that, but it doesn't look fancy to your average person. Which means if you toss this on the table, chances are people aren't going to pick it up and go, whoa, this is an awesome knife, unless they're a knife person, of course. They're just going to see a bright orange plastic knife and be like, oh, okay, whatever, it's like $10. But the performance of this knife and the ergonomics and the warranty, everything just goes together so well. Overall, I think it is a great investment. If this is your only knife, if you have one knife to last you the rest of your life to depend on, this will do the job. If you're a collector, it's probably not going to be your fanciest knife, but maybe your most used knife, like myself. But if you're just average person looking for a knife, don't want to spend $300, but also don't want to get one that's going to break on you when, you're depending on it, up on top of a ladder, on a roof, or whatever you do for work. this will never fail you. And with that, I think the Benchmade Griptilian really deserves to have the reputation that it has as just the gold standard. This is a knife that everybody should own. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching if you did the whole way through. That's it. Nighty-night.